In this class, we are going to learn how to add in-app navigation component. That is the menu kind of component. If you see at the bottom, there is home. If I click on order, it will change to the order page. If I click on home, it will change to the home page. So we'll learn how we can add such kind of navigation, which is also called as in-app redwood navigation in our application. So we will cover a generic topic using which you will be able to consume this in-app navigation in your web app. Suppose if you are building a standalone redwood application using visualbuilder, or if you are building an app UI in your Fusion extensions. I have created a fresh application over here. When we create any application based on the redwood template, so you will be getting a main start, that is in the web app. When you create an app UI, you will get a main start page in your app UI. If you are working on Visual Builder, you will have a index.html page that is also called as a shell page. So you can drag and drop the in-app navigation component. That is, if you just search over here the navigation, I will search over here the navigation. You will see in-app navigation. So this is the redwood pattern or the component we can drag and drop in the shell page. It will reflect in all the pages in the application. Suppose if you tell that I'm having multiple flows, like in my application, there is one flow which is having a order related information. Like I will click on home, it will go to the orders dashboard page. Detailed order, it will show in the orders, then the sales information, so on and so forth. So this could be one of the scenario wherein you will implement this. If you are having some other flow where you don't want this feature, then adding in the shell page will reflect in that flow as well where it is not required. Now, other requirement is, suppose if you are building the extension using app UI, that is for the Oracle Fusion Cloud, then you won't have this option, that is the shell page you won't see, only the app UI flow and the pages you will see. Now, we will try to add the in-app navigation in the flow by creating a subflows, and we'll demonstrate how we can use the same concept, that is adding the in-app navigation, that is for the web app as well as for the app UI. So before we go ahead, we will see the documentation for the in-app navigation. I will search over here the in-app navigation. It's over here. Click on this. So you can have a look at the documentation. What are the properties, events, methods, properties available. If you go to the API, the main thing over here is the variable. So in order to navigate over here, that is from one tab to another, we have to create a variable that is of type array of objects, and it will have ID, label, icon, and the badge value. So before we go ahead, we will try to break this flow. That is, instead of main flow, we will make this main flow as a child flow. This you will make as a top flow. Now I will rename this. I will rename this to the top flow over here. Click on rename. And I will rename this to the top flow start. Now the main flow, what we will do is we will add as a subflow over here. I will name this as main flow. As soon as we click on main flow, it will create a main start flow. So by default, when we create any subflow, if we don't associate this to the top flow, meaning the parent flow, it won't render over here. So we have to add the flow container that is in the parent flow. Then only we can associate those child flow pages in the top flow where it has to show on the page. Now let's come back to this top flow start. All these are the concept of flows and the pages in Visual Builder, which we had seen in detail in our classes earlier. Now what I will do is, I will remove this code, whatever Oracle has added. Now we will try to mock the functionality what this shell page is offering over here. We want the similar thing. That is, when our application loads the main flow page, it has to render the parent flow wherein it has to provide a container. And this container should be populated from the templates and the components what we define in the subflows. Like I click on order, it will navigate to the order page and it will show the order. So only this portion it is changing. It is not navigating from one page to another. So if you look at the browser console, it is not navigating from one page to another, just it is updating the container over here. So we have to mimic the same in our application. So in order to do the same, we will have a look at this shell page. So it is being done with this code, that is, they are creating a segment called as OJ very content, using which it is rendering the content on the page. So we will copy this from here and paste it over here. We have to close this div segment. So I will copy this from here and paste in our application. Let's go to the top flow start over here. Let me right click and add format. So let me go to the design view. Now if you see, we are getting a flow container automatically where we can show the flow pages over here. We can associate over here the flow container. Now I want this to be straight across the entire frame, that is the OJ SM12. I will put it over here. If you go to the code view, you will see this will stretch across all the 12 frames. Now what I will do is, after doing this, I will associate this top flow with this flow, that is the main flow. In order to do the same, we have to click on this top flow over here, select this top flow start, and we have to select which is our flow which it has load in the flow container. I will select, we have to load this subflow, that is main. And in the main, our default page is the start page, that is the vision start page. Now if you see, we are not getting that error to load message. We are rather getting a option, that is to add the template and work on this page. I will select the template over here. I will tell the welcome page template. Let me select the template and I will drop over here the heading. I will drop in the default segment or the slot. Welcome to in-app navigation. Done. Now I will navigate to our top flow start. It's over here. I will just minimize this. Now what we have to do is, we have to add the in-app navigation. So in order to add the in-app navigation, I will search over here the in-app. I will drag and drop in the flex flow, that is after the flow container. Let me drop it over here. So it had automatically added the in-app navigation after the flow container. If you go to the code view, it will show something like this. Now what we will do is, we will wrap this with the div segment so that we can add the classes and the properties over here. Alternatively, you can do the same, that is by right clicking over here and surround with a div. So this also you can do, surround with a div segment. So sometimes it happens, right click, it's surround with the div segment. Like this also you can do if you are not comfortable working in the code view. Let me format. Now if you look at this page, the demo page which we have created, here in-app navigation is at the bottom, which means it is at the footer. So in order to do the same, we have to add the footer over here. Footer is the HTML syntax over here. In the role, we have to tell we are adding this to the content info, and we have to end this footer over here. Then let me just format. We have surrounded this in-app navigation with the div segment, that is a flex container over here. What we can do is, we can put this to be stretched across, footer. So this one, we can make this as a OJ flex item and 12 MD fine. So this also, we will make it to stretch across the 12 segments. I will make OJ SM12 so that it can stretch across all the 12 frames in our application. Now we have added this in-app navigation in the footer. How it will look is, I will go to the top flow over here, or the pages within this flow, and I will try to refresh the browser. In the page, it is still not reflecting the navigation menu which we have added. Let me just preview this. Click on this preview. Let me see when it is previewed if it is adding any navigation component at the bottom. So it has not yet added. So let's go to the documentation, that is for the in-app navigation. So in order to reflect the changes, what we have to do is, we have to create a variable, and it should have ID, label, icon and the badge value. Basically, this has to show the icon and the name. So we'll create quickly the variable over here in the top flow start. Go to the variables, icon plus variable. We will tell in-app navigation items. This is an array of objects, and here we have to have the ID. Then we have to, that is the label. Then we need over here we go to the documentation and see ID, label, icon and the badge value. Icon we need, and we need the badge value. Also, if you want to add any custom field, like if you want to store the flow ID, you can add the flow ID as well. Now we will populate a default value, a dummy value, using which we can populate the icon and all and give the name for the menu. I have already created this sample value. I will paste it over here. Just it is having one main welcome, and the ID is main welcome, label is home. Second object, it is of ID main orders. So basically it will show the same data in our screen. What I will do is, I will create one ADP variable to our in-app navigation, because it accepts only the data provider, and in our case it is the array data provider. I will name this as in-app navigation items ADP. Then and we will select this is of type array ADP or the array data provider, and we will assign this to this array which we created just now. Done. So we will create one more variable which can hold the value what user has selected. That I clicked on this home, it should show home, and clicked on order, it should show order. So this we can do with the help of action chain. So in order to add the switch in the action chain, we need to get the value where user has clicked. So this we will get from the in app nav selected item. We will create one variable with this needs. With this set, we will go back to our page designer and we will select the in-app navigation. Here, what you have to do is we have to select the navigation and select the navigation selected item over here. Navigation data, we have to assign this to the array data provider which we created. As soon as you select this, it will display the in-app navigation at the bottom and it will show the icons. Suppose if you are using the large screen, then it will show the name as well. If you see home and orders is visible. Suppose if I go to the smaller screen devices, it will hide the name, only show the icon. So these features it will support. Apart from this, when the user clicks on the options over here, we have to get the selected value and route to the pages. We have created one page which says welcome to in-app navigation. Let me create one more page which says welcome to the orders, something like that. So you can refine these pages as per your use cases in your project. I will go for the general overview page template, click on create. Then I will draw over here one heading, that is the info. I will tell this is a orders. Okay. This is just for the demonstration. I will go back to my top flow chart and select this in-app navigation over here. Click on the events. We have to click on one selection of icons over here. That is SP selection action is the event name. I will drop over here the switch. Our switch will be based on the selected value, that is based on the current ID. So there will be a variable with the name as current ID, which will be having the current selected value. So when our value is main welcome, so from where I'm getting these values is from this default value, which we have added over here. So whenever the user clicks on the home button, it will have this ID. So we have to copy this ID, welcome, that is main welcome. Next is the main orders. So I will go to the action chain. I will put the value over here as main welcome. And I will tell I want to navigate to the flow that is in the current page, and the flow is main, and from the main it is the main start. Similarly, what we have to do is when the user clicks on the orders button or the icon, I will drop over here and tell the condition or the ID is main orders, and I will select over here the current page and the main orders. With this set, we will preview this application. Let the application load in our browser. Automatically, it will load this page. Suppose if you want to navigate to some other page, then on click of the button, that also we can do. Now what I will do is I will click on the home. So it will show this page. I will click on the orders. It will navigate me to the VBCS orders page. Suppose if I click on again home, it will go to the in-app navigation. So like this, we can add the Redwood in-app navigation component to our VisualBuilder application. Also, the same concept will be applicable if you are creating an app UI when you are building the Fusion extensions. So one more thing, you will ask why Redwood team has got this in-app navigation. Redwood team considers adding the navigation menu on the left side as an anti-pattern. So this is the preferred navigation menu. It is followed in all the Redwood pages. That is to maintain the same user experience across all the Oracle applications. Also, one more thing is adding the navigation menu on the left top corner in Fusion will not be feasible because there will be already a navigation menu on the left top corner which shows the modules and the task available in each of the module in Fusion.